Marie and I are going to talk about student engagement. We are going to begin presenting over student-centered learning. Student-centered learning is defined as a teaching approach that places the focus of instruction directly on the needs of the learner and creates active learners. As you see in this slide, two young girls are working on homework together. The young girl writing seems to be teaching the other girl material learned in class. In this slide, a young boy is reading a textbook in one of his classes. You can see that he is very focused and is actively engaged in learning. The boy seems to be content in reading and enjoys reading alone. This slide portrays students working as a team, finding information needed for a class. The students are using technology to further their search for finding the information that they need. You can also see that the students are enjoying learning while being active learners. These young boys look like they are doing research for an assignment. The Oriental boy is showing the Caucasian boy information he found that could help further their search on the assignment. The students in this slide are assigned in groups, but they each have a specific part for a task. The teacher assigned different parts that the students will collaborate, and the final result will be all of their findings. This slide portrays students actively engaged in a science experiment. The students are put in groups to teach each other and help each other with this experiment. The student holding up the flask is engaged in her findings, and she will later record the data she has acquired. Her and her partner will report their findings to the teacher and show how they have worked together to come to their conclusion. We will now talk about teacher as a facilitator. Teacher as a facilitator is defined as a role in which teachers provide a structure for learning and then help when there are questions or stumbling blocks. This student seems to be having trouble reading certain words and has called the teacher over for some assistance. The teacher is there to provide the students with support only when needed. As you can see in this class, the teacher is lecturing the students and asking the students for feedback. The students are not only discussing material with the teacher, but they are also conversing with their peers. By the teacher's facial expression, she is answering a student's question and acting as a facilitator. The teacher is explaining how she wants the experiment to run properly. The students seem to be having trouble running the experiment, so they called their teacher over for assistance. It seems that the students did not measure their liquids correctly, so the teacher had to step in and correct their error. The teacher seems to be presenting a lesson in which students want to participate by answering questions. The entire class appears to be comfortable with the facilitator and are answering questions. Facilitators ease the way by supporting rather than directing or telling. In this classroom setting, one of the students appears to be having trouble with the information and is asking the facilitator for help. The setting may also appear to be less comfortable, and not all of the students would like to participate.
Now we will be switching gears and talking about the teacher as an audience rather than as a facilitator. Teacher as an audience is defined as a role in which the teacher is an observer when a student product is completed and then demonstrated, explained, or performed by students. The students in this slide are put in groups, and their assignment is to create a timeline that will later be presented to the teacher. The girls seem to be confident with presenting in front of the teacher. The teacher assigns students in groups of 6 to help work on math problems. This voice seems to be explaining the math problem that the group has completed and was presenting it to the teacher. The students were put into groups to complete the problems given by the teacher, and once the students figured out the answers, they reported their result. Groups or individuals are facilitated during the construction process and then watched as they explain to the class their structure and rationales for their findings. The students in this slide had to collaborate together and explain to the teacher why they came to this conclusion. Class discussion is defined as educational situations in which students learn a great deal as they listen to other students who are formulating ideas and questions. Teachers must plan a discussion just as they plan a lesson to ensure that all students participate, that there are higher levels of thinking, and so forth. In this slide, the young girls are collaborating with one another to properly construct their design. The girl holding the sheet was designated team leader of the group. It was her job to make sure that the group ran efficiently and got their design on time. This slide depicts 2 girls discussing a paper that they had to write in class. In her paper, she wrote something amusing that had the group laughing. You can see that the students are comfortable working together in groups and like having discussions in class. This slide portrays students in a group rehearsing lines for a school play. The students are taking turns reading the script for the upcoming play. Rehearsing in groups helps the students retain their lines better than working alone. It is best for a discussion to work properly by having the students sit in a horseshoe circle and facing each other. As you can see in this slide, the students are sitting in a circle doing a round-robin reading exercise. By having students use the round-robin reading exercise, everyone is participating in the discussion. After one of the students has finished reading their part, they will have a discussion over what they read to make sure everyone understands the material. Positive reinforcement is defined as giving something valued, such as a reward, to increase the behavior. Parent-teacher conference is important because it provides the parents with the proper material to help their child. By utilizing parent-teacher conferences, it allows parents the proper tools for making sure that their child succeeds. However, the use of positive reinforcement is an excellent tool in the classroom for promoting motivation. By getting the parents involved, the students receive motivation from the teacher and also by their parents. The teacher can let the parents know when the student has done something good and can be rewarded for their good deed. The more positive reinforcement that is given helps encourage the students to become a more independent learner. Thank you for taking the time to watch our video over student engagement.